As UFC 315 approaches, the spotlight isn't just on the welterweight title. It's on a chain reaction that could reshape two entire divisions. Della Maddalena's clash with Belal Muhammad isn't just a championship bout. It's a high-stakes domino that could either secure Islam Makhachev's path to double champ glory or slam the door shut on one of the sport's biggest dream fights. Here's how it all unfolds. In the build-up to their highly anticipated clash at UFC 315, Della Maddalena took an unexpectedly respectful stance when it came to public perception of his opponent, Belal Muhammad. During an appearance on the Grin Reapers podcast, Maddalena addressed the common criticism that Muhammad is a boring fighter due to his tendency to win by decision rather than spectacular finishes. Instead of joining the chorus of critics, Maddalena defended Muhammad, acknowledging that while his style may not be the flashiest, it is highly effective and results-oriented. He drew a comparison to UFC legend Georges St-Pierre GSP, who also faced similar criticisms during his reign. GSP was often labeled as cautious or dull because of his strategic, decision-heavy victories. But in hindsight, fans and analysts now recognize him as one of the greatest to ever do it. Maddalena noted that being called boring is often part of the territory when a fighter consistently dominates opponents and racks up wins. Yeah, not the most exciting guy, but he's good at winning, Maddalena said, adding that success in the sport often comes down to performance and results over entertainment value. His comments not only reflect a mature, sportsmanlike attitude, but also highlight an understanding of the nuanced difference between fan expectations and elite competition. This level of respect adds a layer of depth to their rivalry and frames their UFC 315 showdown as a battle between two elite technicians, rather than a clash of personalities. Islam Makhachev, the reigning UFC lightweight champion, finds himself in a unique and emotionally complicated position leading up to UFC 315. While he has long harbored ambitions of becoming a two-division champion, following the footsteps of his mentor Khabib Nurmagomedov and other UFC legends, his path to the welterweight title is blocked by something more powerful than athletic ambition: friendship. Belal Muhammad, the current welterweight champion, is not just another fighter to Makhachev. He's a close friend and frequent training partner with ties to Team Khabib. This bond has created a moral obstacle for Makhachev. Despite being more than capable of moving up and challenging for the 170-pound belt, he has made it clear that his loyalty to Muhammad outweighs any personal goals. Khabib himself echoed the sentiment, stating, "We put relationships over titles. That's how we do it here," essentially confirming that as long as Muhammad holds a welterweight throne, Makhachev won't be making a move. This creates a fascinating dynamic. Makhachev's hopes of holding titles in two divisions hinge entirely on Della Maddalena winning at UFC 315. If Maddalena defeats Muhammad and becomes a new welterweight champ, the door swings wide open for Makhachev to step up and pursue the fight he's always wanted. In fact, Maddalena has already expressed interest in facing Makhachev in a title defense, making that scenario even more appealing. So, while Makhachev would naturally root for his friend Muhammad to succeed, there's an undeniable tension beneath the surface. His own legacy could take a major leap forward, only if his friend loses. This emotional tug-of-war places Makhachev in a rare and vulnerable spot, where loyalty, career aspirations, and the shifting tides of UFC matchmaking all collide. Despite the towering challenge that awaits him in Belal Muhammad at UFC 315, Della Maddalena is already envisioning what lies beyond the title fight. Specifically, a potential showdown with lightweight champion Islam Makhachev. Speaking candidly on the Grin Reapers podcast, Maddalena revealed that he not only welcomes a clash with Makhachev, but views it as a personal mission, one rooted in national pride and loyalty. Maddalena, a proud Australian, sees a fight with Makhachev as a perfect opportunity to avenge fellow countryman Alexander Volkanovski, who was defeated by the Dagestani champion in a previous super fight. He referred to it as Volk's revenge and described the matchup as poetic, a storyline reversal where the Australian steps up to challenge the man who bested their featherweight king. Yeah, that would be nice. Yes, that would be a great story like Volk's revenge, Maddalena said, highlighting both the symbolic and competitive value of such a bout. This forward-thinking mindset shows Maddalena's confidence heading into UFC 315. He's not just focused on winning a belt. He's envisioning what kind of champion he wants to be. A victory over Muhammad wouldn't just be a personal milestone. It could open the floodgates to high-profile, legacy-defining matchups, starting with Makhachev. More than just fantasy matchmaking, Maddalena's comments demonstrate an awareness of the business side of the sport, how narratives and rivalries drive attention, PPV sales, and historic legacies. He knows that if he topples Muhammad, he becomes a key figure in the welterweight division, and possibly the bridge to one of the biggest fights in recent UFC memory. The main event of UFC 315 isn't just a title fight. It's a crossroads moment with deep implications for Della Maddalena, Belal Muhammad, and Islam Makhachev. Each fighter's future is intertwined in a web of championship aspirations, personal relationships, and narrative potential. And at the center of it all is Maddalena, who arguably holds the keys to what comes next for both himself and Makhachev. If Maddalena defeats Muhammad, he not only claims UFC gold but reshapes the welterweight landscape. That victory would make him the ideal opponent for Islam Makhachev to pursue his long-awaited goal of becoming a two-division champion. The matchup would carry massive promotional appeal, an elite striker versus an elite grappler, revenge for Volkanovski, and a high-stakes battle for double champ status. It would instantly be one of the most talked-about fights in MMA. On the flip side, if Muhammad retains his title, the ripple effect is just as significant. Makhachev, bound by friendship and loyalty, would have to put his double champ dreams on indefinite hold. Coach Khabib made it clear, Team Khabib doesn't pursue belts at the expense of personal bonds. In that sense, Belal's victory wouldn't just solidify his reign, it would protect Makhachev from having to choose between ambition and loyalty. This dynamic makes the UFC 315 bout even more dramatic. Maddalena has expressed confidence and is already speaking about future title defenses, but some see this as a risky mindset. Belal Muhammad is a relentless, suffocating wrestler with a style that shut down many top-tier opponents. Looking past him could be a grave mistake. And with both fighters carrying the weight of what's at stake, not just a belt, but the futures of two divisions, the pressure is enormous. In the end, UFC 315 is more than a title fight. It's a defining moment. If Maddalena climbs a mountain and wins, the horizon opens up for himself, for Makhachev, and for the UFC's next super fight. But if Muhammad spoils the party, he cements his reign and closes a critical door for the lightweight king.